Hey, welcome to another episode of the KS Report. As you can see, it's a nice day today compared to what we had Sunday. We're going to start off with the COVID-19 update. They're asking if you're waiting for test results to please stay home. Don't go out. Try to confine yourself, within your house till you get those results back. As of April 13th, 2020, we had 3,087 cases and 111 deaths. Almost 2 weeks ago, on April 3rd, we had 1,455 cases and 35 deaths. So just in the 2 weeks, we've had 1,632 cases more and 76 deaths more. Remember, y'all keep wearing your mask when you go out. Keep sanitizing your hands, washing your hands, wiping your feet when you go into your house, and I think we'll be okay. Now for the weather. It's going to be another chilly night tonight. There's a frost advisory for our area, and what that means is low temperatures from 33 to 36 degrees will result in frost formation. When can this be expected? From 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. The impact on this frost advisory, the frost could kill sensitive outdoor vegetation if left uncovered. How to prepare? Take steps now to protect your plants from the cold. For Wednesday, otherwise, it will be sunny with a high near 62, the low near 39. For Thursday, sunny, mostly clear, with a high near 69 and a low near 47. Going into the weekend, on Friday will be mostly sunny with a high near 73 and a low near 48. And later on, I'll be talking more about the tornadoes and weather from this past Sunday. Now for some local news. A statewide burn ban was issued on April 9th at the request of the MFC. Governor Reeves signed the proclamation putting it into effect, and this will remain in effect until further notice. The shelter in place is still in effect till April 20th at 8 a.m. Also, the stay-at-home orders. All residents are advised to follow the guidelines and continue doing what you're doing. For more up-to-date information for our area, you can visit the Facebook page, New Albany MS City Hall. And there they post any changes to any of the guidelines or orders or other information they need to get out to the community. On Easter Sunday, a storm system moving over Mississippi produced 13 confirmed radar tornadoes between Louisiana and Mississippi, that was. And then a second part of the storm came through, producing straight line winds of 43 plus miles per hour. There's a count of 12 deaths so far, and 30 counties in Mississippi were affected. Over 37,000 people or more without power at this time. Today, Governor Reeves, along with the MEMA Director Michelle, completed a tour and flyover of these areas. Director Michelle spoke of one registering at an EF4 and had winds up to 200 miles per hour. Combined, just two of them had a 90-mile path of destruction. FEMA is down in the state, and in conjunction with other teams, will be out doing assessments. 52 people have been sheltered, or living arrangements have been made with the help of the Red Cross. One shelter is still open at this time. The needs for food, clothing, and shelter are being met, and they're asking people to stay home. This is not a time for a ride and look. There is no need for added traffic getting in the way of rescue and recovery efforts. Now the big question everybody's been asking for over a week, schools and what's happening with schools. When the governor gets to this part, he starts it off by mentioning the Restart Mississippi Task Force, which is being led by Joe Sanderson of Sanderson's Farm. Him, along with others, will be looking at what will it take for things to start reopening and how will that look and the logistics and the how-to. Another important thing they will be discussing is rural broadband getting that done and getting that into place also. Now, schools will remain closed for the rest of this school year. Distance learning will continue as needed. And he went on to thank all the teachers and the bus drivers that been out delivering food, and for parents for all their work. They are looking at the possibility of an early fall start. Him, along with the state education, are looking into the possibility of things. Summer school, maybe something else that's possible for some students. And they were asked about grades and passing. And like many other questions today, the governor went in a roundabout answer on how he answered, and it never really directly answered the question. I don't know if he's tired. I don't know if he just rather not say he didn't know and then gave some substance to the answer. But he did go in to say that in the state testing would be, they already made that clear and saw that would not be happening. Now, another good question that was asked was about the students for this year with distant learning who did not have internet, did not have computer access, might have got maybe 1 or 2 packets at the most so far. How would next year affect them as far as passing? Once again, he never answered it directly, but he did go into something that was pretty cool. How before we had shortages of teachers or teachers that didn't teach a certain subject, they want to take this distant learning that we've been doing with the virus and try to implement that into future education for a school that might not have a certain teacher, but the teacher could be in another county, and then they could use like Zoom or some sort to be able to take that class. That was a good answer, and it's very interesting and could move us forward in education, but he didn't answer the question about what about the students now. Dr. Dobbs came on and answered some questions, and some of the points from that was he said 337,000 tests have been done public and privately. This is another question even the president had gotten misunderstood about, and even Dr. Dobbs had to go back and kind of explain it a little bit more because their answers are getting twisted. Social distancing, school closings, could it have been done earlier? Common sense, yes, it could have. Could it have been prevented more deaths? Could have. But nobody really knew much about the virus at the time, of what it did or what it does, how it was transmitted, things like that. But the measures that were taken at the time that they did shut schools, do stay-at-home orders, all that, doing those early approaches, when they did it, they have seen a decrease in what was projected. So could we have done earlier? You could always do things earlier to prevent things. But at the time that they did it, it did have an impact. The conversation of did we peak or did we not peak, even still in the briefings the past, let's say it's like a week, since last week, there's always been a conflicting thing between what the governor says and what Dr. Dobbs says. The governor talks about curving and we're flattening, and Dr. Dobbs is still sitting there saying we haven't peaked yet. I think that's something they need to work on and get on the same page so that everybody's on the understanding of where we're at right now. And on to my final thoughts. People. I understand they say wear gloves, but it does no point in wearing gloves if you don't do it right. And this is even for public people and people who are working with the public. For one, buggies, parking lots, the side of the road, at the gas pump ground is not the place for your dirty gloves. Okay? If you're so worried about the virus, put your gloves in the garbage. Make sure you take them off the right way, then put them in the garbage. Still sanitize your hands after. If you're going into Walmart and you put gloves on, you touch this, touch this, touch this, touch this, touch this, check out, hand out the money, cashier hand you stuff back. And even if the cashier has gloves, who's never changed them either, all you're doing is recontaminating everything. It's pointless. You'd be safer touching things and then washing and sanitizing your hands than keeping the same dirty gloves on. Same with people who work with the public. It really doesn't pay to wear gloves if you're going to stand there and cash out 15, 20 people wearing the same gloves and then touch your face or touch this. There's no point. Why waste the gloves? Donate them to the hospital if you're not going to use them properly. And that's pretty much all I have for today. Just stay tuned for another episode, and we'll see you then.